Now, in tonight's session, we will take something that often gives you comfort and is well understood as something that gives comfort and make it even better at it. You can use the stuffed toy, a blanket, a pillow, really any other soft thing you pick. So I want you now to go ahead and silence your distractions. Set yourself on Do Not Disturb, turn off any notification settings you might have, quiet your phone, because we're going to need to quiet your mind. I'm going to add one more instruction that I normally give for these sessions. I also want you to go select something that you're going to give the power to give yourself more comfort than you normally would. For best effect, I'd like it if you used a stuffed animal, a stuffed toy, a pillow, a blanket, something along those lines. Something that you can clutch close to yourself and easily imagine is giving you comfort. And for this session, I'm going to want you to be as comfortable as possible. I'm going to want you, preferably, to be laid down in a bed. I'm going to want you, preferably, if you can't do a bed, to be in a big, comfy chair that you can lay back in. You're going to take your chosen item, whether it's a stuffed animal, a pillow, a blanket, whatever else, and you're going to lay down in that chair or on that bed, clutching that to you. You're going to keep it in your arm. I'm going to give you a moment now to go ahead and do that. There will be 60 seconds of silence while we prepare ourselves for what's to come. All right. Now this is going to be a very comfortable session. The objective here is to give you another way to obtain comfort from things that already give you comfort. To magnify their existing effect. And to make it easier to get what you need from that object. So this is why I wanted you in a place that you commonly associate with that object. Whether it's a stuffie you're cuddling in a bed, or it's a particular blanket you really like to wear in that chair. Only you know this item, and only you know its relation to that bed, or to that chair, or wherever else. Maybe some of you are in a hammock. I don't know. Whatever you find comfiest. Whatever you find the most relaxing. So I want you to get as comfortable as you can on that bed or in that chair. Just feel the way your weight presses down into it. Feel the soft comfort of it pressing back up against you. It's a nice balance if you really think about it. But beyond being a nice balance, it's something that keeps you supported. It's something that's holding you up. And it's something that also supports whatever blanket, whatever quilt, or other similar item of warmth you have laid atop you. Whether it's clothes or otherwise, something is on you, weighing you down into it, giving you warmth. Isn't it nice to lay in such a place? Isn't it a kind of indescribable calm to just let go in this place? Isn't it so natural and so easy to let the things that might bother you on the outside go away in this place? Because it's so soft. It's so warm. It's so comfy. I want you to follow my voice down into this comfy place. I want you to let my voice start to take the place of that bed, or that chair, or that hammock, or whatever else. Because as you focus on my voice, you'll find yourself getting just a little bit heavier. You'll find your bed or your chair getting just that little bit softer. That little bit more cushiony. Your blanket or your clothes that much heavier. Normally, I would say in one of these sessions that it's just you and me tonight. But tonight's a little different. Tonight, we're bringing down a buddy. Tonight, we're bringing down a friend. Tonight, we're taking your object with you, clutched close against you. And we're going to share our heart with that object tonight. So I want you to start breathing nice and slow. Let yourself relax into this position. Let yourself embrace the cradling sensation that bed or that chair, whatever else, gives you. It's such a safe place. It's such a warm place. It's such a calm place where no one can hurt you and no one can interrupt you being soft. So we're going to go down and we're going to be soft together. We're going to embrace every bit of warmth this place has to offer. We're going to take your current comfort. We're going to let it weigh us down. So I want you to take slow, deep breaths. We're going to count down in a short bit. And while I'm speaking, you're going to take a nice, slow breath in. And each time that I pause, you're going to give a slow, exhaling breath back out again. 10. We're resting in our comfiness. Your soft thing cradled against you, your blanket heavy over you. 9. That blanket's a little heavier. And that comfy place is just a little bit more stuffed. 8. It's almost like the blanket's pushing you down into your bed or your chair. Your clothes are pushing you down into your bed or your chair. But it's okay. You've got your object curled right up against you. 6. You sink down into it a little bit. Into that comfiness. Down into that bed. Down into that chair. It feels nice to let that warmth push you further down into trance. My words pressing you down into that comfiness, just as your body sinks down into it. 5. It's so easy to imagine. My voice is the blankets, and the things my voice tells you are the comfy. And it's so easy to sink down with your chosen object, because you two are going down together. 4. Oh my gosh, it's so comfy, it's so warm. It's all around. You never knew your bed or your chair was this comfortable. It's so easy to let your mind drift down, 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 down into this softness. 3. We're almost there. It's like that blanket's wrapped around you. It's like you've been tucked in by my voice, but you've sunk down into that mattress, sunk down into that cushion. 2. You're about in a nice little, kind of like a dent in that chair or that bed. It's almost like you're about to drop through into something really nice. 2. That blanket just gets heavier and heavier. But that's okay, because the surface beneath you just gets comfier and comfier. 1. My voice wrapping around your mind, just as this comfy wraps around your body. You're almost there, and it's so exciting, it's so comfy, it's so happy. And 0. The blanket is wrapped around you, and you drop right down for me into that comfy space, into that world of blankets. And it's so easy to imagine every time you've ever curled up nice and warm, nice and snug. Every time you ever laid in a bed and you just can't describe what that feeling is, other than sharing in just how lovely that comfy feeling is. You came down here, not alone, but with a friend. So let's consider that friend, because it's just the 3 of us tonight. It's natural for us to associate a stuffed animal, a blanket, a pillow, whatever else, with feelings of calm, with feelings of comfort. It's natural for us to project our own affections onto these things. To have a favorite blanket that we've had since childhood. A stuffed animal that people keep telling us to get rid of, but make me. A pillow that maybe it's a little old, but what it means to you is so much more. I want you to consider that object that you've brought down here with you tonight. I want you to think about how special it is to you. I want you to think about every time you've ever clutched it close. Maybe sometimes you cried into it. Maybe sometimes that you rolled around the bed laughing with it. All the times that you just needed that little bit of extra comfort. You put it in your arm and held it against you. So much love you put into that object. So much comfort, so much affection. Isn't it time that that object started reflecting some of that back into you? Isn't it time that all that nice energy you've put into it could shine from it when you need it most? Because I had something in mind when I asked you to consider all those moments you had with this object. Throughout all of it, this object has never turned on you. Throughout all of it, this object has reliably and constantly been right at your side. A constant, immovable rock of calm, quiet, and peace. So it's only natural that this object would become charged up over time with these nice emotions, the warmth that you gave it, the peace that you felt while you were holding it. Maybe you gave it an affectionate name. People often do. You don't have to be ashamed of that. But I want you to consider what that means to you. And I want you to imagine that this object of yours is now a bit like a mirror of sorts. Maybe a glow stick. As you put energy in, as you make use of this object, it charges up with all those amazing things you're putting into it. And the next time that you clutch it close, you feel all of that warmth you put back into it coming back to you. You feel every bit of that affection you gave it reflecting back to you. You feel every bit of comfort, peace, all of that you put into it reflecting back to you. Because it's time that this object does a little more than just be there. As of tonight, now it can really be there for you. Maybe it can't speak, that's okay. We often communicate without speaking. A hug or a cuddle is a wordless way to say everything we often really need to hear. So when you give your object these things, your object gives them back. When you need that comfort back out of your object, there it all is, shining through. And the more you use your object, the better it is at it. So I want you to take your object, and if it is safe to do so, I want you to give it a nuzzle. I want you to note if you smiled. if it felt nice, how soft it is. Go on and give it another nuzzle. Give it a squeeze. Isn't that nice? This object may not be able to come alive, but through our minds, we can give it energy. We can give it warmth. And just like the warmth we add to it, it can reflect that all back in exactly the same way a wordless hug does. Because if there's anything our generation really needs, it's to know everything's going to be okay. And you can get that from this object now. I'm going to give you a moment to just share a private moment with your object. Because you two have a connection that I could never hope to understand. I've given you a tool, so I'm going to give you 60 seconds of silence to consider your object and share a soft, tender moment together. Starting right now. I bet a bunch of you gave it a kiss. It's okay if you didn't. I just think it's cute. But it's time for us to come back up now that you and your object have a more special connection. 0, you're down in this world of comfy. 1, you can feel the bed or the chair again. 2, slowly rising up. Your object clutched closely to you, right alongside you through it all. 3, 4, 5, halfway up, almost back up to the land of the waking. 6, 7, just a little sunken into your better chair now. 8, 9, 10, alert, but so goddamn comfy. So soft. So warm. Up, up, up. Alert for all the things you need to do. For those of you on YouTube, there's a link to our server in the description. I will say that the chat before this live session was quite interesting, and you're missing out not being part of it, so come on over.